This microphone is very confusing. Good afternoon. My name is Matthew Kochman. I am a recent graduate of Cornell as of this past December. And I'm also a social entrepreneur. About a year ago, I founded an organization called MESS Express. MESS stands for Moving Every Student Safely. And what we do is we design and implement systems that make access to safe transportation more ubiquitous on college campuses. From my experience over the past year in the social entrepreneurship space, I've come to notice something. There's a major gap between the current ways that investors are going about funding social enterprise and the needs of these social enterprises. I recently attended a panel about a week and a half ago in New York City to discuss this funding gap in social enterprise. There were members of the venture capital community and members of the social investing community. And we opened up a dialogue about how we can go about solving this funding gap. And one of the members of the panel, Roger Ehrenberg, had a great quote. He said, "If traditional financial returns are the benchmark by which capital is allocated among social ventures, many critical projects will go unfunded because the measure is simply wrong." And that's the key. That's the missing link here. In order for social investing to be successful, we must find a way to measure and monetize social impact. There are a bunch of organizations out there who are trying to play with this model, play with the social investing model, and they've come up with a bunch of different strategies. Gray Ghost Ventures is one of the leaders in the industry, and they've coined the term impact investing. It basically offers a blend of financial returns with positive societal impact. Then there's the Acumen Fund. Acumen Fund, founded by Jacqueline Novogratz, who is one of the panel members of this discussion, they invest in social enterprises in the developing world. And basically, she said that their financial return goals are anywhere between negative 10% and positive 10% on any investment. So on any investment, they're basically trying to break even. Then there's the Unreasonable Institute that uses the incubation model. The theory here is that you're bringing 25 social entrepreneurs from around the world together. They're located in Boulder, Colorado. And you give them 10 weeks of intensive incubation, business workshops, and mentors to mold their business venture models into scalable and impactful entities. And then once you have that, you go forth and try and help them find investors. And then last but not least, there's the Thrust Fund. The Thrust Fund, better known as the Life Investment, is a very controversial and hot topic in the social entrepreneurship community right now. Basically what it is an investor and a social entrepreneur will enter into a contract where for X amount of dollars, let's say $600,000, that social entrepreneur now gives a percentage of their life earnings for that money. So the correlation is roughly right now about 1% for $100,000. So for $600,000, you'd give up 6% of your life earnings annually for the rest of your life. It's very controversial, but it has its positives as well. But there is a lack. I still think these organizations miss, because what they're missing is that investors still need to sacrifice something. Whether it's time or profits, they still need to sacrifice in order to invest socially. And as well, there's no common denominator of metrics between these organizations. None of them are setting a common standard. Well, B Corporation has recently tried to solve this issue. B Labs out of Pennsylvania is a nonprofit that has coined the term B Corporation. B stands for beneficial. And what it is, it's kind of like an Energy Star logo for socially responsible businesses. You need to meet a certain level of criterion and standards, such as carbon neutrality or a portion of your profits going to charity, in order to be considered a B Corporation. And with that label, you're entitled to certain retailer discounts, and even in some cases, some banks offer better loan rates for loans. They're also pushing to get a legal entity of B Corporation in many states, California and Vermont being right on the cusp of making that happen. So that would give social enterprise an incredible opportunity to have a legal entity that you have to have standards to meet, and then you'll be afforded some sort of tax breaks. But again, this is doing a great job of starting the conversation about standards, but it's lacking in monetizing social impact. One of my favorite quotes is by the CEO of HBO. He says, "We didn't get here by playing the rules of the game. We got here by setting the rules of the game." I believe that this is the exact attitude we need to take while moving forward in the industry of social investing. We need to rethink how institutions invest. We cannot just stand by and go with the traditional venture capital, angel investment, and private equity forms of investment. They don't fit for social enterprise. We need to create something new. I want to leave you with a statistic that was in the New York Times. It said in 2008, there was $310 billion of individual and corporate philanthropy in the USA. That's $310 billion. That is a huge pool of money. And I think that if social investing is going to be successful, we need to come up with a measure and a way to monetize social impact. And I think that if we have this huge pool of money, that somehow we need to link this huge pool of money to this monetization of social impact. If we could do that, we would be doing incredible things for the world. So my call to action to you is to brainstorm, to think how can we incorporate this fund to be the source of funding for the monetization of social impact? How do we regulate that? How do we measure it? So on that note, I want to say thank you, and I look forward to talking to you afterwards.